I think we are live. I think we are. Pretty sure we are. I'm like 99% of the way there. Oh, geez. Oh, I don't like the look of that. Hold on one sec. I wish I had something different here. I guess we use that. I'm happy about using that. Not happy about that one bit. But I have literally a dozen more where that came from. So, all right, who we got? We got Reggie, Hit Metal, Scott Brockway, Barry Fitz, Donovan J. Got Queen Team, Tonosaurus, Terry 3G on my mod squad. Got Matt Baker, Guitar Man 45, Jeff E, Jay Jennings, Papa Blue, Landon Bailey. What's up, bro? Hey, his pick is the Guess Who. Who? No, the Guess Who. No, you rock. I do. I am alive. Despite a lot of yard work today. Levels are on point. Good. Good. What's up, Ben? What's up, Gary? Got Craig Smash, Double R Guitar, Terry Tickler, Jim Clark, Buzz Wilson. So, Buzz, did you wind up going to the Dallas International Guitar Festival that Sunday? I know we had talked a few weeks ago, and you're like, I'm thinking about possibly considering about maybe attending. But, wasn't a done deal. So did you go? And if you did go, what was it like compared to years gone past? It looked like, to me, like a lot of the tables are a little bit more spread out because they just had the room and they're like just spread out as much as, What's up, Ed Axman, Yeti Matzi? What's up, Platinum? Hit Metalwork? Jeffy? What's up, James? Rick Emmett. It was something like that from years ago. That's an old one. Oh yeah, BTO too, right, Mark? And we're taking care of business every day. That song was so huge when I was a kid. Between Ain't Seen Nothing Yet and Taking Care of Business, I mean, those tunes, man, friggin' huge. You just ain't seen nothing yet. Going a little fast here. I'm going to get caught up. Scott. And then Calvin. We're jumping ahead to Buzz. Buzz is reporting back. Oh, thank you, Buzz. Thanks, man. Sorry, bro, no. First came the rain, then the pollen. There you go. No Dallas this year. Next year for sure. Yeah. It didn't look like it was a regular full crowd there. I think they did have rain issues, I think. But I don't think it was constant, if I remember. I think they just had a few showers blow through. But, there's a lot of outdoor, as a lot of outdoor stages. So, that may have been a factor. What's up, dog? Mr. 845. Sassy cat. What's up, Tony? Byron? Aloha. What's up, Nick? Jason? Coombsy, Platinum, Gary Devlin, John Hanks, Krenar. Big fan of the brothers Landreth. I agree. Joey Landreth, man. I knew he was a good player, but I didn't realize how good he could sing. I was like, wow, he's really, really good. So, kind of like Ariel Posen, right? Another guy that you know he's a good guitar player. Then you hear him sing, you're like, oh my God, this guy's actually a really, really good singer, you know? Oh. Yeah, my grandfather had dual citizenship. He was both a Canadian citizen and a United States citizen. He moved up there after he retired because he married a Canadian woman and moved up there. And they got divorced like 10 or 15 years later. And but he stayed up in Canada and New Brunswick, up in Berry Mills. There? That there? No. That's like a Chinese copy. Not even close. Yeah, Philip Sace. I met him at the Guitar Festival a couple years ago. He was hanging out, and Phil X introduced me to him. The other thing, hey, what's up, Mark? The other thing I noticed is the neck on this is definitely a little, just a touch thinner than it's like than the SG. They're almost identical in every way, but there's a slightly thicker rump on the back of the other one. This one is almost like it gets flattened just a hair more than the other one, so it feels just a little bit smaller. I mean, we're talking fractions here. It's not like a millimeter or anything. Slow down. April Wine. Yeah, see, there's another band that it's like I know of, but I'm trying to think of their big song. The one that always gets me is Neil Young. You know, Neil Young is Canadian. Paul Shaffer. There's a few. But known for being a Canadian band, I'd say number one has got to be Rush. I think it's hard to dispute that, right? That they're like the number one Canadian export for rock bands. And Triumph is up there. BTO. BTO was huge when I was a kid. I mean, I really, really can't stress how frequent their songs were on the radio. I mean, they were in heavy rotation. Is the band from Canada? The band was mostly Canadian. All right, Joni Mitchell, Big Sugar, Bryan Adams, right. Anvil, Celine Dion. Let me see. Technically, Heart is a Canadian band. Well, the Heart of Heart is Canadian, right? Which the two central players. Did they originate out of? So if Heart is to be a Canadian band, I think they have to originate out of Canada, instead of having two members that are from Canada, but they like originate out of like, you know, L.A., you know, or New York. Devin Townsend, yeah. Shania Twain, really? I feel like she's from like Nashville or something. Alanis Morissette. Yeah. Justin Bieber is not out of the running. How dare you? Don't make me come over there. BTO was always on the radio in Boston back in those days. BCN, COZ, ZLX, exactly. Yeah, especially COZ. when I was a kid. My God, I listened to that on the way to school. Jeff Healey, too? Really? Jeff Healey's Canadian? Again, there's a guy I feel like came from, like, Tennessee or, like, you know. The Guess Who, right, Frank Marino. Glass Tiger. Oh, really? Yeah, Glass Tiger. I remember them. Blue Rodeo, I don't remember them. Oh my God, Raven. I think I saw Raven live at the Paradise. The drummer was wearing a helmet, and at the end of his drum solo, like a big bunch of confetti shot out of it. I could not make that up. All right, Nick Johnson. There you go. So the reason why I'm asking, does anybody know why I'm asking? Pete Thorne, Phil X, you know. BTO, we're out of Winnipeg. Really? Interesting. Home with the Jets. Nickelback. All right, Aldo Nova. Canadian bacon. As far as I understand, Canadian bacon, it doesn't exist in Canada. You know what they do make in Canada, though, that is sort of a thing, at least when I used to go up to my grandfather's, is that's sort of like, it's like a maple fudge. You know what I'm saying? It's like this, I guess it's kind of like a sugar fudge maple thing. That was actually pretty common. All right, so my buddies at Rev, if you haven't seen the video, just look up the I think it's called WTF Rev WTF contest or something like that. And they are doing a contest whereby themselves and 10 YouTubers, of which I am part of the group, are doing a giveaway. And the grand prize, I think, for my giveaway is a Rev amp, like an alpha amp, so either a D20 or a G20. And like all their pedals, but in like custom Canadian color graphics. And then I think a shirt. I think that's the package I'll be handing out. And then there's a grand prize. So if you enter, there's a grand prize that I don't think is only eligible to the people who win. In other words, it's not like based on the 10 people who win, then one of those 10 is also going to win the grand prize. I think it's just a separate prize, right? And that's, I think, one of their big amps. I want to say the Generator 3, but don't hold me to that. Go and check out their contest, and you'll get all the rules on that. But I think for me, For me, it's going to be an alpha amp, so either a G20 or a D20. I'd go G, if I were you. It's up to you. The D is a cleaner amp, right? It's based on the dynamis, and of course the G is based on the generator, and is a more the metal amp. Don't let me influence you, but if you don't get the G, saying. And then the pedals, and then the shirt, and there's a bunch of rules, and I'll get into it when the video comes out. I'm waiting on just a few more things to finalize my video on it, and I want to make a separate video for that. This is not it has nothing to do with it. You can't enter now, void, completely void. Like I don't. This is not me announcing it. Anything. I'll have a video on that at some point. But what they want people to do is, because they're a Canadian company, they do want a Canadian angle to it. Oh, Canada? Yeah, that's right. And so I think they want you to do either a riff or an entire song. I think we get to decide that. We get to decide some of the parameters of the contest, but it has to be Canadian based, right? Canadian based. So I got to find out the complete rules, but I think I get to come up with some of the rules of the contest. And, if it's me judging something, I might narrow it down. In other words, I might give a list of 6 songs you can choose from to wow, to try and wow me. The reason why I wouldn't want to leave it completely open is because I worry someone would do a song that would not even interest me because I just don't know it. It's hard for me to judge something I don't really know. And so I think for me, I think for my contest, I'm leaning towards picking one song from Rush, a song from Neil Young, right? A song from, Life is Just a Fantasy by Aldo Nova, or, you know what I'm saying? Just pick a half a dozen songs and say, whatever song you're most comfortable with, you choose from that one, and then I already know what to listen for. If people do a cover of a song that I don't know, I'm like, I have no idea if this is good or if this is garbage because I just don't know the song, right? So I think I'm leaning towards coming up with a short list of songs for people to, there's so many great riffs out there, and then you've got to, win the contest with your super awesome riff, and and again, I don't know that I even have the patience to listen to an entire song, or to make somebody go through the process of actually doing that. I think I'll get fewer entries if you have to do an entire song, although maybe that's what I want. I don't know. I'm leaning towards just 30 to 60 seconds of the song and just really nailing it. And I think to some degree production will count. Right? Got to be, right? You've got to really knock it out of the park. So let me think about it. If the songs are short enough, then I might just make them, you got to do the whole tune. But maybe not. And clearly, a Neil Young song, and that's why I may not have you do the whole tune, because I think it's unfair to make someone do a kick-ass version of a Neil Young song, and then another person have to do a Rush song that has a very challenging guitar solo in it. It's not a very fair contest, right? You see what I'm saying? I think it's much. I think it would be fair to say, like, come up with like the verse and chorus, and like nail it, like own it, like really, really do a great job with it. And like even again, production would count. Turn it into something new, something that's yours, and like really show me the creativity that you're going to use when we send you a free amp and a bunch of free pedals and a free hockey shirt. You know, especially the part about the hockey shirt. So let me. You know, I'm still thinking about it, but I think I need to narrow the parameters because if it's too wide open, it's going to be goddamn chaos, and it's going to be unjudgeable, right? When it's wide open, what's the criteria, right? It's just no. So I'm still working on it. You're supposed to give away a Sunburst guitar hanging to your left. Yeah, that got a little messed up. We gotta figure out what's going on with that. Stay tuned. By 2024, for sure. Yeah, just make him play YYZ. Just finished my song. When did you submit it? There is no place so far. Actually, you might be able to submit it if you want to go to Rev's contest. And I don't know what the rules are on that. I don't know if it's per. Again, the contest is a little. I don't know if these all go through Rev, and Rev is the one that decides. I don't know if I'm the one that decides, or I don't know. Can you enter more than one contest? Maybe. I don't know. Again, we're sort of fleshing out the rules on it, but I just know that their video came up. They're trying to, I think, get everything locked in and the contest over by the end of June. So that means I'm going to get my video out within about 7 days, I'm hoping. Like literally this week. So we'll see. They're sending me a few things I need to set up for the video for the contest, but I should be good. Should be here this week. Contest is 10 chances from you, Reb, Baker, etc. Okay. All right. Good. Good. Yeah. I you know what? It seemed like it was like that. Like you could enter 10 times, right? 10 separate contests. But I didn't know for sure. And it's like, I don't know for sure. Certainly, I doubt you could win twice. Right? And void where prohibited. I'll get more of the information out like this week. This is the week that it's sort of going to ramp up. And then I'll know a lot more about it. Did I just miss a... Oh, thanks, Nick. Off topic, Mass, I gotta ask, candlepin bowling or 10-pin? Oh, candlepin all the way. Oh, dude, candlepin. My God. I friggin' grew up in candlepin bowling. Empire Lanes on River Street in Hyde Park. Empire Lanes. I want to say it's a... I don't know if it's a service center now or something. I don't even know what is in that building now. Let me take a quick look. Go to the Google Maps. Take a look here. What is in the old Empire Lanes building? All right, so there's the park. There's the cemetery. It should be right after the corner. It's before Berto's. Oh, it's got to be this. Right, there's the old fabric. They turned that into condos. There was like a textile mill. You could go in. My mother used to go in there and we used to buy fabric. Like literally directly from the textile mill. Where the hell is... Oh, here it is. Oh, yeah, there it is. So what is it now? I think it's an office building, 1530 River Street. Yeah, my God, we used to my dad, we would do the candlepin bowling there. I literally have a couple of trophies in the other room from my dad. He used to kick ass. You know why? Because he was a softball pitcher, and you get a really good wind-up, especially for candlepin bowling. So, he used to throw that friggin' ball down the lane at 70, 80 miles an hour. Be like an explosion at the end of the lane. Oh my God, I remember going there and, I'm sure those people, I was so annoying. I was like 11 years old. I'm sure they hated me. I couldn't shut up. I'd go there, go up to the lunch counter. They had a lunch counter. You could go there. I'd get like a grilled cheese and a drink, and they poured out of my skull. They could not. I'm sure they were dying every time I showed up with my dad. My dad was the only one who brought his kid. It was fun for an 11-year-old, but the poor people in my dad's friggin' bowling league, they had to put up with me, and I was a chatterbox, I am sure, and I'd be like, hey, blah, 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 and they were like, and she was so nice, that woman there, and they were all smoking. You could smoke anywhere you wanted. They all had cigarettes going everywhere. That woman, oh yeah, go on, tell me more about your thing there, honey. You think that sounds like fun? My father had a second family across town. I actually know a dude. Actually, his dad pretty much had two families, and he would show up with his friend. We're like, oh my God, you guys are brothers, and they're like, actually, we're not. Like he looked more like his brother than his brother looked like his friggin' brother. Which actually might explain a lot. Who knows what was going on there? Oh yeah, Red Ryder. Red Rider, God. They had that one big hit, right? Lunatic Fringe. Oh. Used to love this, just the brightness of a Les Paul. It's like you forget just how bright they are. I'd say even brighter than the SG, without a doubt. Yeah, Lunatic Fringe. What are your thoughts on Warmoth builds? Like one that you do yourself? Because Bobby uses Warmoth necks, I think. I think he's used them a couple of times. I've never owned, I think, one. I'm trying to think. I don't think so. It's got the, the truss adjuster on the side. I don't think so. I think I've ever had one. They're good. I mean, there's a whole group of people out there. I'm not really one of them that really like to just make their own guitar, but I kind of like them just straight off the rack. Thanks for the bowler story. My bowler friends will get a kick out of it, yeah. You'd go 10 pinning up to Sammy White's over on West Roxbury Parkway. Sometimes you could just go in there and the arcades would be broken. You could just play all day for like free. And the dude behind the counter didn't care. And you could get this enormous pizza for, I want to say it was like $5. And, yeah, Sammy White's. They were 10-pin, though. We never really did 10-pin. We were candle pin, pretty much exclusively. Straighten I gotta move this. Oh, my legs are so sore. Did the mow the lawn and then did the edger and the edge of the lawn and then blow it all out with the blower. Looks good. It'll go to crap as soon as the sun really gets up in the sky. I got a few more weeks. We're like in the worst area for grass. We're just a little too far north for the grasses down in like Florida, like Bermuda grass and bent grass. And then we're really too far south for most of the grasses that we have, which are basically English grasses. And their sun doesn't get quite as hot as ours does. We're a few degrees south. That's just enough to burn them out pretty much every summer. Ever play the yellow Chibli with the blackouts? No. In fact, I found that guitar recently. And I'm thinking about, like, where am I going to store it? I got a couple of ones that just have to go into deep storage here. They're literally in the way. And I've made a lot of progress on that other space this week. Huge progress. I got the bench all built, and I got some of the lighting installed, which is huge. The problem is that I really need an electrician to come in here and wire up a couple more boxes. And I have a guy, a licensed electrician, but he's too busy. I can't get him over here. Yeah, that's right. Loverboy was from Canada, weren't they? Yeah, right. My first PRS this week. Never tried one before. SC Custom 24. There you go. Yeah, I got. My first one was a CE 24. 24. Yeah, 24. Stored in my guitar rack, exactly. Oh, thanks, Tony. That's to Randy Rhoads' Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction. You drummer Randy Rhoads. So Randy Rhoads separately, just as a person, is going to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Because, quite frankly, I was talking about this the other day. The riff on. That riff at this point is 41 years old. I'd say it kind of stood the test of time. It's Crazy Train's got legs. They still play that song. You still hear that song on a pretty regular basis, He should get in. I think his contribution to the guitar world is, is huge. You don't like that one? You like that one better? Yeah, I did. I saw Jim Steinman died. Yeah, there's a guy that was just that Bad Out of Hell album, man. Again, mega hit, huge, just unbelievable how big that record got. Right, I know the NFL plays it a lot. It got legs, Randy told Ozzy he wanted to go back to classical. Well, he would until he found out how much it paid. Then he probably would have ran back to frickin' Ozzy. The problem, with Ozzy is that, with Sharon, when they were with Sabbath, everything was 4 ways, I think, right? Like, they all get writing credits, everything split 4 ways. Once Ozzy got in there, it's like no more 4-way split. It's pretty much Ozzy on every single song will get a writing credit no matter what. Like, even if he didn't write any of the song, he's getting a writing credit, period. And a lot of people were knocked out of their writing credits. I think they had to sue, right? It's like Randy at least got some writing credits like pretty much early on, but where's the money even going at this point? To a foundation, to a trust? I'm assuming his mother maybe set something up. I don't know. Did he have siblings? His mother passed away, what, 2 years ago? Yeah, the NHL uses it too, yeah. See you, Janice. Thanks for stopping by. What's up, Browns fan? How old am I now? I'm a year younger than you. Don Harry still feels guilty about the day convincing Randy to get on the plane. Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. Yeah. I totally remember that day. Because I worked at an auto body shop after school. I was 16. 82. I just turned 16. And I remember going to the place after school, and they were playing like Flying High Again and Crazy Train. They were playing a lot of Ozzy. And I was like, oh my God, they're playing a lot of Ozzy. And the guy's like, oh, you didn't hear? There was a plane crash. I go, Ozzy's dead? He goes, no. A guy in the band died. I go, not the guitar player. He goes, I think it was the guitar player. I'm like, son of a bitch. God, I was so angry. I was so bummed. I was so into Randy. In fact, I remember like that prior summer, Ozzy, right, so the summer of 81, like being in a friend of mine's garage, and he had like this terrible old radio, and he was trying to get like, he's trying to get the station to come in, and he picked up like, it's probably like the King Biscuit Flour or some shit like that, but it was like live music, right? And it was Ozzy with Randy, and I was like, oh my, it sounded so good, and you just didn't hear live Ozzy. It wasn't until Randy died that Speak of the Devil came out, and the only reason that Speak of the Devil came out was because Black Sabbath came out with Live Evil, and the record company was livid, and they wanted they wanted to earn money off those songs, and so they took a bunch of the Sabbath songs and threw them up on live Speak of the Devil, an album that Ozzy hates. It feels like it was a 100% corporate album, which he was right. Ugh. Yeah, MTV was around, and it sort of started to come out in 82, but I don't really remember it hitting my area until 84. But I think it started in 82. Yeah, 81, late 81. Oh, I remember when Stevie Ray Vaughan died. Totally remember it. That's good. Starbucks, a hot shot. Yeah, I kind of remember Jocko. I remember when Miles Davis died. I think we were moving one of the stores, and it sort of, one of the guys came in and was like, "Hey, I just heard Miles Davis died." And we were like, "What?" Because he was I saw him twice live. I want to say that might have been in what? 91? 90? Was it 86? I don't think so. Because I want to say I saw him in the late 80s. I want to say it was like 1990 or 91. I haven't played a Firefly. That's a brand that seems to be getting a lot of attention these days. I don't know any Alice in Chains. They're a little after my time. Pretty much if your band came out after 1985, the probability of me knowing them falls to almost zero by 1990. You know, unless I couldn't avoid them like Nirvana. It's like I know of Alice in Chains, and I'm sure they have songs that I would instantly recognize, but I literally couldn't name you a single Alice in Chains song right now. Not at one. Oh, thanks, Robert. What's up, indeed? I got to see Stevie Ray Vaughan at Bronco Bowl in Dallas. I could have gone to the Jeff Beck, Stevie Ray Vaughan, with a Double Trouble, you know, event where they were, you know, sort of doing a dual headliner. I really, really regret not going to that show. Though I did get to see Jeff Beck a few years ago. I went with a friend of mine to go see, it was Jeff Beck opening for Santana. And I thought Jeff Beck sounded friggin' awesome. I thought his guitar sounded so damn good. And I thought Santana's was a little muddy. I don't know. It didn't cut through the mix. Couldn't quite. I mean, you could hear friggin' Jeff's guitar. So it really did sound amazing. And he just kicked ass. He sounded so good. I want to say Tal was with them, and probably, oh, who's the drummer that he uses? It's not Vinny Colaiuta. Who is it? Who's this drummer lately? Who's the guy that was at, it was probably the same band that was at the Ronnie Scott's. When Elvis died, yeah. Roadside sales of Elvis Velvet exploded. I remember when Elvis died, not so much like probably exactly when it happened, because I just wasn't attuned to that stuff. But after it happened, all the tabloids and all the stuff down at the Greek Spa, I remember going, in 77, I would have been 11, and going to the Greek Spa and walking in there, and pretty much Elvis was on the entire newsstand cover. I mean, it just, from one end to the other. It's unbelievable. He was pretty much the top story for weeks and weeks. It faded in the major newspapers, but all the tabloids kept going for weeks and weeks and weeks. Yeah, Vinny Colaiuta. Is it Vinny Colaiuta? Is that who he's playing with? Was it Vinny? Okay, at the Ronnie Scott show. So yeah, I think it was Vinny who I saw. Probably with Tal too, Tal Winkelfeld. They sounded so good. And I just remember, well, a couple of things. First of all, we show up at Mansfield, right, which is Great Woods, but what do they call it now? It was the Tweeter Center until Tweeter went bankrupt. I don't know who owns it now. Comcast Center. So we get there and we go to our seats, and they've taken the lawn and they've jammed it with seats, right? They built all these concrete pylons, and they laid in all this concrete stairs, and because you can't get people in the lawn, right, to stay that close to each other. You can't pack them in like you can with seating. So they realized that they would never get approved for, an extra 1,000 people on the lawn. But if they just jammed it with seats, and only the very, very back strip would actually be the lawn, and you'd have to stand up if you want to look over the friggin' seats, right? I mean, it was a terrible idea. For you to see, they have a series of large, LED or like plasma or whatever, very bright screens, right? And then there's like a little slit, and you can actually see down to the stage and the actual person. When you're out on the lawn and those screens are lit, whoever had them lit that night had them lit to daytime mode. They were so bright to overcome the brightness of daytime, but it was nighttime. It was blinding. I mean, it literally hurt to sit and look in that general area. I said, I can't look at this. That screen is so goddamn bright. It's killing me. So out there, it's 3 main sections. 2 sections. One section was full. One section was half full. And one section was completely empty. And they didn't turn the overhead light on, because why spend the money, right? No one out there. And we ran over there, and I was surrounded by nobody. And a bunch of people did the same thing, because they saw what I saw. I was like, that is unwatchable. And it was great, because once you didn't have that blinding light in your eye, you could actually see the stage. And Jeff Beck was just killing it. He did Over the Rainbow. He did the Day in the Life. And he did Beck's Bolero, and he did all the stuff. He did Because We Ended as Lovers. He sounded amazing. And again, it could have just been the mix, but I thought Santana's guitar got a little lost. It was a little mushy. A little too thick. Versus, coming from Jeff Beck. And we didn't stay much. We hung out for maybe half of Santana, and we decided to kick it out of there. What's up, Dreamer's Life? I'd say Jeff was pretty laid back. Jeff is usually pretty laid back when he's on stage. He's a pretty quiet guy. No guitar swap? Yeah, you want me to switch out to a Kramer, huh? I have 2 Harley Bentons right here. I got the Amarok, and I got the the only problem is that I haven't played this in a while. I'm kind of liking it. Yeah, Blinding Light Show Triumph, really. I heard Queen and ELO had pretty crazy light shows, too. Steve, thank you. 80 pass. Oh. No, I know. It was tough. Yeah, I know. I've never watched the video again. Can't do it. But you know, it was a time. It was a classic, just a cheaper standard, pretty much. It's got the maple cap. It's got a, I think it's a tiny bit smaller neck on it, or at the very least the same as the 60s. But I swear it almost feels a little smaller than the 60s. I think the 60s is what the SG is. It's weight relieved. I don't know that the standards are weight relieved anymore. I think they stopped that for pretty much the 50s and the 60s, the original series. But this has 9-hole weight relief. With the 9-hole weight relief, it brings it down to 9.92 pounds. So, it's up there. Yeah, the neck is a little flatter on the back than the SG. I swear the SG has a little bit rounder butt. What's up, Steve? Local people look out for Friedman. BE Mini got stolen from a store in New Hampshire. No red bar cheddar. I used to. You know. Oh, thanks, Rock Nutters. What's up, Music Sound Gear? I've dabbled in bass guitar. I do like the look of this one, though. Nice carved top there, hot shot. It's got some weight, though. Compared to the SG, it's almost a pound. It's just about 1.5 pounds heavier. Where was I working in the mid-90s? So up until about 94, I was working at the music store. Then I worked for Jim Sokolov for a while. That was an interesting job. And then I worked, I think, at a place teaching. They eventually got bought up by New Horizons, but at the time, I think they were called PDG, Professional Development Group. And I taught software for about a year. And then I went to work at Putnam Hayes and Bartlett, which was nice. Marble floors and with your copper accents. Jim was a lawyer who advertised on TV. Yeah, it was a little bizarre. I remember I was working in the music store, and I wasn't. And then about 2 weeks later, I'm in a high-rise in Boston, sitting around a table, having, like, these amazing bagels that were, like, brought in, and, like, talking about, like the company and, like, marketing and, like, the role. Yeah, it was like some stupid corporate meeting. It was a total suit and tie affair. I just remember sitting there and just looking around that room going like, how did I end up here? That guy at the end of the table is the guy on TV. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this chick over here. What's her story? You know what I'm saying? It was like this really, after working like 9 years in retail, 10 years. It was a bit of a shock, a bit of a change. Ever considered a kit build? Not really. I'm more into playing them than. We're gonna hit the It's all an optical illusion. It's all green screen. What? Oh! Damn it. It's fine. Everybody's fine. Calm down there, hot shot. We got a kitty butt back here. I think Sokolov, they might still advertise, but I guarantee you he's retired. I went to his 50th birthday party in 1994. Okay. That puts him at 70 in 2014. And would put him about 75, 7 now? Yeah. He's retired. I assure you he's retired. So the name probably just lives on. And you know what? I would say 80 or 90% of the cases weren't handled in-house. They went out to affiliates. He was just basically a call center. And they had some real big heavy hitters. He got like enough traffic to bring in enough high dollar clients that the big dollar firms. So I want to say his at least 25 years ago, his law firm for medical malpractice was Lubin and Meyer, which was pretty much the biggest, or if not one of the biggest, medical malpractice law firms in the city of Boston. So, he wouldn't handle that. He's not equipped to handle that. It's very complicated, and requires all kinds of expertise that they just didn't have. So you go to a place that's an expert on that. Should I switch to the SG? The little orange actually can get a little hot. What do we got here? Oh, it's a light. I think one of the cats knocked it over. Jesus. I'll put that there. Cats. What's my favorite? The classic, the SG or the PRSCE? Yes. All right, we can go to the SG. And then next week we got to get a Strat on here. Feel like we've been gibbing out a lot lately. All right, you can go right there. I'll put that there. And this. Come out of here. Cat butts. Wingo tango. Wingo tango. Uh-oh. I hope I didn't. Oh, wait, I gotta get that. You're only half done there, kid. Hold on. Hold your horses. All right, there we go. I'll tell you one thing. It's a lighter guitar. The lightness is immediately apparent compared to the not quite as bright. Yeah, this Epiphone is 10 pounds. It's 9.98, but the other one's 9.92. They're about almost the same weight. It's so amazing how it's just not quite as bright. Oh, wango tango, wango wango wang. I still haven't peeled the old scratch plate condom off. It's the hottest rage in Britain. The scratch plate condom. Kids are going absolutely wild for it. Do 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 do. For those, not really. feel like I'm a little out here. Where's me Tooney McBooney here? Yeah, a little flat. You could hear that. Because I knew the other one was tuned up, and I'm like, this sounds just a little off compared to that last one. Don't be a dick. So there was a guy who they were singing, kind of a cowboy singing act, and one of the brothers had a bad stutter, but he could sing without stuttering, and they had a guy break into their hotel room, and he couldn't yell the words. There's somebody in the room. So he sang them. There's somebody in the room. That woke other people up, and they chased him out of there. But, you know, it's like, I guess you got to do what you got to do. Stuttering Sergeant sang without a stutter, yeah. Best Canadian band. Rhetorical question, it's always going to be Rush. Yeah. Yeah, I suppose as a band. I got to tell you, though, I think, you know, in terms of, you know, contributing some really good, you know, songs to the rock lexicon, I think Neil Young is up there. I think they've got some, even though he's not considered a Canadian act, he is, I believe, a Canadian citizen. And was a solo act for a long time, and wrote some pretty good, memorable, and popular songs as a solo act, too. I'd say Rush's biggest competition is, in terms of just sheer popularity, you know, oh, wow, Celine Dion, for Christ's sakes, sheer popularity, right? But I'd say Neil Young is up there. That's probably their biggest competition, just numbers-wise. Some other presets. Hold on. For a second, I thought the background was a green screen. Very, very expensive. You have no idea how much this 3D green screen cost me. Yeah, the millions of dollars it costs to do that. Saw Neil Young in Maine with Sonic Youth and Social Distortion. I don't know, Neil. That man, you should have picked up, like Joey Landreth to open for. You know what I'm saying? Although Joey's a young guy, but you know what I'm saying? It's like that's a bit of a culture shock right there. I don't see those working together very well. I saw Neil Young a few years ago, and man, he just came out as a solo guy. And he just wandered from the organ to the piano to the guitar. He had acoustic guitar and electric guitar. And he just saunter over the keyboard and start to play and sing and the piano. And oh my God, he sounded amazing. He really, really sounded good. It's like, man, this guy can hold a room, man. Good. There it is. Sat next to Neil Young on a flight from Detroit to San Fran. Damn. That was pretty cool. Neil's with Crazy Horse, loud and lots of feedback. Yeah, but Sonic Youth, Social Distortion, those are bands that view music almost with contempt. They're like, they almost like place a bet. They're like, how bad can we sound and people will still stick around? What's up, Frank? I'm doing well. Gordon Lightfoot. Yeah, that's right. What's that, the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald? Is that Gordon Lightfoot? The wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. In fact, it could be a Dylan song, couldn't it? Yeah, Paul Shaffer. That's probably one of the most well-rounded musicians, I think, that we've mentioned all night. Paul Shaffer. Do never, ever underestimate Paul Shaffer. All right? That dude is a goddamn musical genius. He's got ears. That dude's got ears. Yeah, Phil X. True. Phil X is technically a Canadian from Toronto, I think, right? I had no sound? I still have no sound? No, it says I have sound. It says I got sound. Work on the basement, Andy? I did, actually. I got a lot done in that other room over there. A huge amount, actually, done this week. Went out and I bought the bench last Sunday. And I built it on, like, Monday and Tuesday. Which, you know, that hardwood bench at friggin' Harbor Freight, I don't think you could buy the wood for that money right now because wood prices are so high, you know. It really is a pretty good deal. So I threw that together. I got the computer going over there. There was something else I got going over there too. I can't think of what it was. I think I just maybe some electricity going. But it's been steady. Getting the bench done, getting that up there, and moving some stuff around there was huge. I still have enough room. I'm pretty sure I still have enough room to set up a full drum set. So that's the goal. And then ultimately I'll get the drum set up, and I'll probably throw one of those like plexiglass partitions in front of it. And that'll keep the sound a little isolated, and it'll cut off the white noise from the furnace. And then just use some close mics, and we should be good to go. I have a full rack over there, and I can just load up the, the 18i20. And the more I thought about it, I was like, I'm stupid not to just run, a 50-foot toss link, right? I think I could run up to 300 meters of ADAT. So rather than run, I got from HOSA, they were kind enough to send me, a little bro snake, which is basically a, breakout box. You know what? It's overkill. I was going to say we could probably use it in the spot just to get it over to the thing, but it's completely unnecessary, right? I'd be better off to just run the individual cables, run them over to the preamp over there, and then just run the toss link line over here. I mean, it's only about maybe tops 30 feet. Get a 50-foot cable, plenty of slack on both sides, and then I'm just direct. And it's all digital, and it's all light pipe, right? There's no loss. It literally is impossible to pick up noise. So it should work better than running a snake over here in terms of being quiet. Have a good one, Coots. Katie Lang was actually pretty talented. I give Katie Lang a nod. Audio over Ethernet, 4 cables per channel. 4 channels per cable. That's what happens when you watch a lot of sporting events with your guitar slung over you. You sit there going, like a... Opinion on Skid Row? I was never a fan. I just never thought that what's his name was all that great a singer. They had like 1 song or 2 songs, But they're more like late 80s. I'm more like early 80s. I'm like 78 to like 84. Once you get past like you know, it sort of all culminates with me with like Iron Maiden and Rat. Probably the last like metal, quote unquote metal album I bought was probably Slippery When Wet. And then I bought like, you know, I'm buying Chick Corea. I'm getting into like John Scofield, Mike Stern. My metal days were over. And so that's when Skid Row gets big. That's when like Warrant gets big. Those later years, 87, Cinderella, right? All those bands, never didn't own any of that stuff. By then I had moved on. Hey, what's up, Bobby? Aaron. Opinion on Queensryche? You know, Queensryche I don't know much about, but I have seen Jeff Tate with Operation Mindcrime twice, very recently. And they were great. And they had a, what I would call a very committed audience. You know, they had the Paradise pretty packed, and same with Greasy Luck down in New Bedford. They had that place pretty packed, and I would say that, you know, a lot of the people there knew every word to every song. It was a pretty high level of commitment, and I thought they sounded freaking awesome. I know the guitar player who's touring with him now. I met him at a thing a few years ago, and whenever they're in town, I go to the show. He puts me on the list, and we like hang out, you know, afterwards for like 30 minutes. I got the LP right there. I can switch back to the LP if you want. Wait a second, Steven. If you bought Appetite for Destruction or Use Your Illusion 1 and 2, then Bon Jovi wasn't the last album you bought. Yeah, but I did not buy Appetite for Destruction or Use Your Illusion 1 and 2. Nope. I was a hard pass on Guns N' Roses. Yeah, I know. Well, that's just it. When I saw them, I didn't realize they were doing the 30th anniversary tour for Operation Mindcrime, the album. So the band's name is Operation Mindcrime. They're doing the Operation Mindcrime 30th anniversary tour. So I think they played the album, and they ended with Jet City Woman and Silent Lucidity. Right? But I think they played the rest of the album. I want to say they try to do it in order. What's up, Aljon? Oh? Yeah, you heard me. Yeah, I would agree with Michael. I thought Guns N' Roses was a little cheesy. You know, I almost felt like they were a bit of like a, you know, like a kind of a Motley Crue wannabe, right? You know, that's what, you know, they were like pretty much every metal band wannabe at that time, period. They were the last, I'm trying to think of a metal band that got big after them. You know, like a hard rock band that got big. Maybe Warrant, but I don't think so. I want to say it was right around the same time. And then pretty much, I'm surprised they they survived Nirvana. So many bands didn't. Yeah, Bryan Adams. Something like that. It's like D minor to C to G. Oh, tell me about Sweet Child of Mine being overplayed. I worked in a music store at the time. Like, this was like 90% of your day. And you hear someone going, "You're getting better at it." And you're sitting there like, "Can I help you?" DAF. I'll have to look it up. It didn't last long. But it went, that lasted about 2 years. You got to remember, even though they came out in 87, Guns N' Roses wasn't really a thing until 88. Like 87, they very slowly sort of came up. By 88, though, they were everywhere. What knocked them off in terms of the music store riff was... So now, instead of listening to... Now you listen to... You're getting better, Bobby. Can I help you? Exactly. You're getting better, baby. Oh my God. Those years. Oh, those are some years. if you didn't buy anything after 86, Slippery When Wet, you never heard Passion and Warfare. I did not buy Passion and Warfare. I don't think I bought it for 2 years when it came out. I did have Flexible. I went with Flexible. That was the one I had. And I had the Alcatraz album from, I want to say, 85, right? Because I had the Talus, that's 85. Alcatraz, that's 85. Alcatraz with Yngwie's 83, maybe 84 as well. So, yeah, that sounds about right. I did not buy Passion and Warfare. I think eventually I wound up buying it, but yeah, I had moved on to like the jazz stuff. I can tell you that like around that time, especially like 88, 89, 90, I was really into James Brown, P-Funk All-Stars. I'm listening to Scofield, Mike Stern, Brecker Brothers. I was big into, you know, Hiram Bullock, who was the guitar player for the Late Night with David Letterman band. He left and was out on his own. I love Hiram Bullock. He's one of my favorite guitar players. So I was way into, in fact, right around that time, Hiram had been touring, I want to say in 84 or 85. It might have been 86, but I don't think so. Could have been 86. It was, I think, a year before Jocko was killed. And I was way into a bootleg for years. Years I was into this bootleg from Jonathan Swift's of Jaco Pastorius, Kenwood Denard, and Hiram Bullock. I would just put that on constant loop on the cassette player in my car. I was listening to that nonstop. So I was just, I had really just taken a turn away from the metal stuff. You got to remember, I turned 20 in 86. By 1990, I'm 24. Right? It's like I'm into music when I'm like 14. That's 1980. That's which I love. I think we need a more metal. We got to go a little bit. Gotta hit that just right. That's great stuff. I saw Iron Maiden on the Peace of Mind tour. Pretty sure the Trooper's on the is Trooper on Peace of Mind, or is that on Number of the Beast? Or is it on Beast? I forget. I think Trooper's on Peace of Mind. Oh God, I love Heaven and Hell, God. And again, the gallop. Yeah, Extreme is from Boston. So, as I understand it, I thought that a couple of the guys from Extreme were in the band called Dream, right? And then they broke up, and Extreme was a play on X-Dream, right? Former Dream players. I don't know how true that is, but I could have sworn that that was the origins of Extreme. Two of the people were X-Dream players. Yeah, Run to Hills is a number, you know, yeah. Yeah, BTO. Like, I want to say it's like a. Is it? It's all right. Yeah, BTO they were huge when I was a kid. Oh my God. Riding in the car in the winter to St. Anne's, listening to friggin' Taking Care of Business. That's pretty standard. CBS bought the name for a show, so they became Extreme. Interesting. Interesting. You got to slide that just right. That's so hard. That's about as close as I get to accurate. Or you can do it really slowly. Oh, thanks, Cody. Steve Lukather played that solo. I got to admit, when I was a kid, I was jealous of the Chops. Right? The Cheech and Chong next movie when Chong like jams out and it's like this amazing. I remember being so jealous. I was like, oh my God, even this guy's a better guitar player than me. Little do I know, it's like the best guitar player, you know. It's like Steve Lukather. But, you know, you don't know. As a kid, I was like, oh, my God, this guy is killing it. Of course he's an amazing guitar player. His guitar is so easy for everyone else but me. Oh, thanks, Gavin. For a fund of your choosing. Yeah, what should my next guitar be? We gotta think out. You know, I mean, we're still on the high of the SG and the LP. I mean, we're still working off those, but you know, I'd trade it all for a few more. Besides, I got into cryptocurrency, so I turned $300 into $235. Ask me how. Yeah, I kind of was the Schecter, and the other one was the 335s. Buzz brings up a good point because I kind of was looking at 335s to cover the one I had like when I was a kid. An Explorer, yeah, Explorer. That's the one shape I've never owned. Never owned an Explorer. Do I like Rickenbacker? You know, I not really. We've had a couple into the music store, and those I think they've had a redesign. I think whoever's making them now, you know, it's not the same people that made them, you know, 40 years ago. So maybe it's a better product now, but when I think of Rickenbacker, to be honest, I really think of basses. Time for another Ibanez? Yeah? Think another Ibanez? Yeah? So funny stories to the music store? Yeah, but we got 10 minutes left. There's no funny story that's less than 10 minutes. Not a single one. Yeah, you love a 335? I could get it. You know, some people, when they look at a 335, they're like, that's not for me. It's like, have you played one? Because I think for blues, you know, and certain types of rock, it's a sound. You know, it's certainly for blues, it's a sound. It's not nearly as bright. It's way more mellow and rounded than, you know, most of your solid body guitars. B&G guitars? I don't think I have. Oh my God, that's right. I have the acoustic Explorer. Does that count though? Does the acoustic one count? I'm going to say no. A Charnel? That sounds custom. Got myself a brand new LP unburnt right here. Just arrived today. Look at you. Look at you. I got the SG. I got my LP. Wait, hold on. I thought I was lifting an LP. A Reverend. Yeah, Reverend has the roasted maple. That's right. BC Rich. They're blowing them out on Guitar Center. Pretty much brand new BC Riches for, I think they're $16.99 is the map, and they're doing them $11.99. $500 off a map. A 335 with 57 classics, huh? That's unusually specific. It's a very, very, very specific order. You have an Epi Sheraton 2 killer tone. I'm telling you, there's something to be said about those semi-hollows, you know, especially for, you know, for blues style. You know, I think I would like a Reverend. You know, I've played a couple of them at the shows, and they seem perfectly well-made instruments. You know, their styling is so retro. I'd have to pick one out that I really dig. You know, their styling is definitely a little out there. Have I ever owned a BC Rich? I don't think I have. I'm trying to think. I've owned ESP. I briefly owned a Schecter. I don't think BC Rich. Yeah, that's right. Alex Lifeson played a 335 for a little while there, right? I do own an EVH. I have a Wolfgang Standard in, I want to say it's a 2017 color. I think it's Ferrari red. Ferrari. Les Paul Gold Top with P90s. Now you're talking, though. I might go humbucker instead of P90. I need a Klon. I actually have a Klon clone, software Klon. They're free. I was trying to get a video out on it last week, but I couldn't get it done. I'll try and get it out this week. But there's a free Klon clone out there, software one. So just, run it into your favorite amp and Klon all day. And instead of $5,000, it's $0. Michael says he has a Reverend double agent. Dean ML, get out of town. A Synthax. I tell you what, I could get those. Ivan has made a MIDI axe. Although its MIDI interpreter was garbage, I believe the hexagon pickup is like a standard Roland format, so you could plug it into a modern synth. The guitar itself was pretty awesome, though. I had one of those. I think it was called X-Zing, or just Zing. X-I-N-G. And the Ibanez Zing. And that was a... they might have called it the Crossing. Very expensive, and they blew them out at the end, and I bought one. And you see them come up once in a while. They're a nice guitar, actually. I want to say it might be all maple construction. Now, the Synthax isn't superior because the Synthax doesn't follow a logarithmic scale. The scale is even, which for a guitar player makes no sense. So Synthax actually, I think, made a mistake by using the same distance between all the frets. Would have been better to do the logarithmic scale. LP semi-hollow. Another very specific guitar. 2 words, mini kiss, exactly. A Variax, huh? Yeah, Variax could be cool. The Tumnus, yeah, they're a good clone. I tell you, I've been looking at keyboards too, synths. But that market's hot right now. I'd say it's even hotter than the guitar market. You're easier time finding an EVH on the used market than some of these keyboards that are out there. They just come and go like almost instantly. I keep hearing kitties. I'm hearing cats out there. Yeah, remember that mic? The Zing. Ebony fretboard. Yeah. When they were blowing them out at the end for like 200, I swear your 200 is accurate. I think that's exactly what they were blowing them out for. It was like $200. I was like, what? He's like, dude, if you want one, I can get you one for like literally like $200. I'm like, do it. I've never been to Sweetwater. I should go there. Like squirrels back there. Oh yeah, I see a tail. Tail right there. We had a fox out in the yard last night. And then a skunk came waddling by. Big old white skunk. You know, black on the bottom, but the top is so white, it just looks like all white. But that fox was out looking for some dinner. It was about 10 o'clock last night. He came into the neighbor's yard. I saw him on the cams, but then a car came down the street. He ran into her backyard. Then he came into my backyard and realized it was a dead end. So he spun around, went back up the driveway, then sort of hugged the bushes until it was safe. Then he darted across the street and went up to their, up their staircase and up into their lawn. And then he was gone. And then about 10 minutes later, I see a skunk come waddling down. Yep. Fox on the run. What did I say makes a guitar stand out for you? I think it's hard to argue that it doesn't start with looks, right? You just get attracted to a certain style or a look of guitar. I will tell you that I will look at some guys' guitars on some of the forums where they're like, check out my guitar collection. And I am like, this is the ugliest guitar collection I have ever seen in my life. There's not a single guitar that I would even be remotely interested in ever owning. And there are other ones on there where every single one is like a home run. I'm like, oh my God, we really think alike. I love the color choices. I like this color on that guitar. I like this color on that guitar. You know, just would make all the same choices I would make. So what you just see out there is, I think it sort of starts with that. It starts with the look. And then after that, it's really the feel and the sound. I would say that you'll put up with a crappy feeling guitar if it sounds really good. I don't know if a guitar sounds crappy, but it plays nice. I think you're looking for pickups, right? Because you're trying to find some way to salvage it. For the most part, guitars, these days all sound pretty damn good. I think, with today's modern amps and, the software and the effects rigs and everything that, it used to be the product of miking your amp in just the right way and having all this stuff. But those days are over. And, I think these days, you can pretty much, between CNC machines and just the overall tolerances of things versus where they were 40 or 50 years ago, everything's just a little better. All right, well, it's 9:01, so I should probably call it a night, or else the family's going to be even more angry than normal. Yeah, feel is huge. If the neck is, I can deal with a smaller neck, but if the neck is too big, it can be and it's not even too big thick-wise, it's wide-wise. That's why I don't like the 7 strings or the 8 strings or anything like that. It's too wide. I'm not a fan. I just don't care for it, All right, I should really go though, because I'm realizing it's like 9:01, and I gotta go track my crypto. I'm probably down to under 200 at this point. He was a financial genius. He bought at the peaks and sold at the valleys. No, you rock. No, you rock. I'm hoping the Rev video is going to come out this week. And there you go. Maybe the Klon video too. Could happen. I tell you, pray for rain, because as long as it's nice out, I have too many yard projects this week. Yeah, I know, exactly. Crypto maven. He was they go like this. He had the unique distinction of being the only person to ever lose money on cryptocurrency. That's my luck. Everything he bought just went to shit. Ever since getting my MXR 5150 Overdrive is my #1 pedal. Yeah, that is a good pedal. The 5150 Overdrive is really amazing, actually. That's probably a good note to end on. The old 5150 pedal. That's a good one. All right, dudes. No, you rock. I'll see you guys in a week. And there you go. Until then, rock on.